but it's country.
All right.
Look, he died lately. His name is on the main monument.
The irony is the poor fella that yelled out for them to run, he didn't run. Or he left it too late to run. And some British bastard. Wow. Lonely little grave under a tree.
Yeah. I think unknown British soldier. Just isolated in a...
Yeah, this tree might collapse on him, I'm afraid. It looks diseased as well. Can't really see, but we think it says unknown soldier buried here. Wonder why.
According to the war correspondence from Atkins on Mount Alice, he said they were blown to pieces in the main trench line. You know, they thought the British soldiers were blown to pieces, so if that is true, it would be difficult to identify, you know.
Aye.
Yeah. But this is an isolated position here, yeah.
Once again, oh, you can see the damming of the Tugela there. Right.
Yeah. You can see the course. Yeah.
And is Durban that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Anybody come up this side of the...
Yes. From Bullis, when reinforcements came, Bullis sent some reinforcements. They came this. Some came this way. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Up there.
Once again.
Yeah.
See
They came up there to
the angle.
reinforce, yeah.
The angle looks like that. Oh, that's fascinating. Fascinating. Okay, we'll leave the unknown soldier to rest in eternal slumber. He doesn't have to hear the explosion of the shells and the screaming of the men. And by the way, I'm getting a bit warm wearing my Fossey's dressing gown. Kind of wishing I'd left it in the car, but that's okay. So the men of the Lancastrians of 1900 sure weren't complaining about being a bit hot in their dressing gowns. I think this is the trench where the famous photos are. Okay. This is what in my excitement, I might have been asking Liz about the false summit. Is this the trench?
One of them. They go all the way around. It goes all the way around to the main monument. And this is where they took the most
Casualties.
Yeah, this is the main. This is where the northeast face. It's right in the line of where the Boers came up the hill that night. Okay, up here. They came up here and they had hand-to-hand fighting here. So they came right up to these trenches.
Yeah, hard.
So, the Boers had
Very
an
rocky here.
advantage in the respect that they could see the British silhouetted against the skyline here. You see?
Oh yeah.
Sitting ducks.
Right. Well,
Apparently, that's.
still, you got to charge a.
Yeah.
You got to.
So this area that's fenced is now always referred to as the Acre of Massacre, where these men were the 1,700 plus the reinforcements up here.
Am I?
2,000 plus up here. They were cramped in here.
But
There, the war correspondent said, they're being blown to pieces. The arms and legs.
Eric Fraser.
It's true or not, but there you go. Yeah.
Well, no, well, I don't know. What did you call this? Massacre Acre or something?
The Acre of Massacre.
Acre of Massacre.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll walk along here. And that little grave down there? What's that? That little grave? Is that?
Yes, that's unusual. That's an English name, but it's actually an Englishman that fought with the Boers. He's from Johannesburg. He fought with the Boers actually, but he fell. So you can see now how close the Boers were to the English. You see.
Right.
And the Boers were also fighting just behind this rock.
Are you saying the Boers weren't up there?
Hmm?
Are you saying there were no Boers up there?
No, they weren't in here. No, no, they were this side. Okay. They were much further over later in the morning near the car, but they weren't up here.
Right.
They were this side.
Obviously, the British lines held. They repulsed the Boer attack then. The British lines held. They repulsed the...
Oh, they held, but to continue. Okay, we're talking about the very early morning. When reinforcements did arrive, then later on in the morning, quite early in the morning, Thornycroft led a charge down the hill, and most of the men, officers with him, were killed. He stumbled, crawled back on his hands and knees, got behind his trench line here, and continued fighting. So it was absolutely horrendous. And then by lunchtime, now, Major General Woodgate, what about this one?
Hang on. Can't read the... All right, Woodgate.
Early on in the morning, which caused so much more chaos here. Major General Woodgate fell mortally wounded.
Help.
So nobody knows who's in charge. It's chaos.
Sure.
You can't communicate. Thornycroft, the second in command, was Coke, and he was still at the top of the climb up. He wasn't here. He had a gammy leg. There's this and that. They couldn't communicate. Tried to then when the sun came up. So it was chaos up there. And then around midday, it was so bad here, right here. The Lancashire Fusiliers put up a white flag to surrender.
All right.
Okay.
That's pretty bad.
Thornycroft is here. He turns around and he charges here. He's a very tall man, and he said, "Go to hell. There'll be no surrender here." The Boers pulled back. They did take some prisoners, and they took them off around Ladysmith, and they went off to Pretoria. Took the trains. They took some prisoners. But the British held here, and they held on grimly until this hill was then Buller sent people over from his area, King's Royal Rifles, to take the Twin Peaks, because if you get on the Twin Peaks, you dominate everything around here.
Sure.
And as I mentioned earlier, one of the British, Buchanan Riddell, came forward to Allow Knoll, where the Boers were. This time of the day, they were also getting tired, and some of them were pulling back, okay?
Yeah.
They were pulling back, and they were pulling off. But Buchanan Riddell was shot, and because of that, Buller panicked, and he recalled the King's Royal Rifles, leaving Thornycroft here, as he felt, abandoned, okay? And I think Churchill came up at one time with a request, also a note from, we must hang on and what have you, from Warren Bottom, and he conferred with senior men on the hill. He didn't all agree with him, but he said, I'd rather take off the few men I've got left than have nothing left in the morning. So he left this hill before midnight, having been up here, I should say, about 24 hours altogether. So it was a series of mishaps and disasters and lack of communication, really. And the fact that you couldn't get any artillery piece up on the hill.
Right.
Impossible.
Yep.
So I think it was doomed from the start.
I'm not sure that says Windsor Hill Trevor or something. I know, the Honourable Neville Windsor Hill
Trevor, Lord and Lady Trevor of Thornycroft's Mounted Infantry, and the 2nd Life Guards killed in actions, age 31.
Yeah.
This is Major Massey, who set out, I think it was an engineer who laid out the trail actually for this, where they should, try and advise them where to dig the trenches that night. Massey was killed here.
When did Thornycroft get up here?
Sorry?
When did Thornycroft reinforce?
Thornycroft Mounted Infantry came up that night, yeah.
Quite a few of them here at Thornycroft. A few of the older fashioned cavalrymen, they didn't like the idea of mounted infantry. They thought it was encroaching on their...
Oh, an insult to them.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was a fella called Hutton, General Hutton.
It was the Imperial Light Infantry that reinforced.
Yes,
Thornycroft,
right.
which came up that night, yeah.
Okay.
And here's the names on the main monument.
There's a lot of them.
And the different regiments.
A lot of them.
I just want to point out this.
Captain. Yeah. That's beautiful marble, but look at all the names. Simpson.
Okay.
Scottish Rifles. Wow.
The one that bayoneted the Boer sentry was actually Lieutenant Audrey, A.W.
I see him here, VHA Audrey.
With the Lancashire Fusiliers, which took a terrible pounding on that front trench there. Yeah, look how many they lost.
Yeah, lots.
You see, they were just fodder, you could say. Yeah.
I'm going to say about 200 at a guess. There's more here. What's this?
Well, that was the Natal Volunteer Ambulance Corps I was speaking about. the chap that came out, whose great uncle
That's right.
was with them.
Liz had a great story about a man who came out, but anyway, we won't go into that. It's not my story. Here's some more. Major, the Boers tended to go for the officers, didn't they?
Yes.
There's quite a few officers. There's a Major Ross, Captain Kirk and Lieutenant Wade, Scottish borderers, and the King's Own. None of them were in kilts.
Not here, no.
Okay. I love a good kilt. Engineers. Here's the Lancasters, Fusiliers.
Oh, there, you've just read the
Scottish
headstone
rifles.
for that one, Flower Ellis, hey?
Thornycroft.
You read that head, you...
Oh yeah.
Oh no, Trevor Hill, the Hill Trevor, that's the one you read, yeah.
That's
the
right.
Honourable. Oh, McCorkadale, yeah. Oh, McCorkadale, Churchill mentions McCorkadale. He knew
Oh, yeah, right.
McCorkadale, yeah.
And the bugler copped it.
Yes. And down this way is the Boer Monument.
Right. Who's this fella? Raymond Lancashire Fusiliers killed in action at the Battle of Spion Kop. Right.
Look at the map.
It's an extraordinary, dramatic episode in the Boer War.
It is. You'll have a look on the maps on the walls over there. Maybe that'll...
And you said something about the Boers, you know, pulling back and all that. I think Botha had to almost beg them, you know, go burgers, attack again. They didn't have to take commands, did they? They could go home at any time.
They were very independent.
Yeah.
It was
When did the shelling begin?
it was Prinsloo of the Carolina commander, who was very brave down there. The Prinsloo kept his when did they start shelling?
Yeah.
Well, when the sun rose in the morning. Yeah, it was early on.
Here's all the burgers.
Boers had lost their lives.
Boers.
So you found it a bit confusing, actually, from what you've read to
Yeah.
what you've seen.
Yeah, I have. I can't get my head around it.
You see, they came from far and wide.
Yeah,
A long
Krugersdorp.
way.
Krugersdorp's a long way away. Bethel, we had breakfast in Bethel. Joburg. Wackerstrom. The men in the... Okay, we're at another little monument. I'm having trouble getting my head around. I'll explain it in a moment. More Lancashires, fell in Spion Kop, captains. As I said earlier, they seem to go for the officers, the Boers. Oh, Jesus, she moves fast. She's gone. Yeah, actually, she said we'll be looking at a map, so that might clarify my concerns. This pine was planted for this particular soldier. Maybe it's from somewhere that had pines. More Lancashires are here.
Yeah, that was the majority. They took a huge...
But they didn't die here, they were buried here. Is that what you're saying?
No, they did. They died on the battlefield and they're buried here. Okay. But it's not one of the trenches they built in the defence of, you understand, the night before.
I think so.
Yeah.
But did they die here?
Well,
I don't know.
I would, yeah, but
just at the other end of this long trench, and saw these crosses. I thought might as well have a look. Well, it's turning my whole understanding of this upside down. Comrades of the 2nd Battalion King's Own.
So we had Royal Lancashire, South Lancashire, Lancashire Fusiliers. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
A lot here. Major Ross.
Scottish Borderers. Major Ross, yeah. Another major.
There's a Scottish Borderers.
Yeah. Just about to leave Spion Kop I, and we've got a protestation by the cattle. Who was having a sit-down union meeting. All right, fella, who's the leader here? What do you guys want? Better grazing rights? Union delegation. Thanks, mate. Beauties, aren't they? Oh, got their gear tags. Hi, guys.
I'm going to ask them if they've got a map here. They sometimes have one that is going to help them.
Oh, I think I'm alright for this. I don't want to confuse my head anymore. Come on, guys.